Good morning, you all. This is Terry Fields coming to you with makeup and legal tips. So, I'm Terry Fields, a personal injury attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, the metropolitan Atlanta area. And if you've been with me, you know I have taken a little bit of a hiatus, a little break. I haven't been doing this for a little while. I stepped away for a little bit, and then before you knew it, it had been what, more than a week or two since I've done this, and I have missed you guys. I hope that you all have missed me. So, have a couple of things I want to talk to you about, but let me just remind you that we are hydrating. I have my water over here, and near the end of the video, I'm going to do a little hydration break. So just remember, take care of yourself. That's a message that I would like to make part of the theme of these videos, is to take care of yourselves and each other. You take care of yourself by seeking competent legal counsel. And I also want to make sure that we take care of ourselves by hydrating and doing what we need to do for ourselves. So, don't have a towel today. I have my little comfy. Today is a Sunday, so it's not a normal day. And I wanted to do it today because I'm not as constrained for time. So I get to get in there and they'll really feel like I could do a good job and not be pressed for time. Doing these in the morning is fine. Today, I don't really have anywhere I'm going to show off the final product, but you know, everything has its pros and cons. So I'm not going to moisturize today. I have a little something on already. So we always start with our eyes. Okay, so what's been going on with me? I'm going to start with telling you that I am watching Encanto. I watched it yesterday and I'm watching it again right now. We're almost to the point of sister pressure, which I love. Even though I'm not an oldest daughter, I certainly can relate to everything Louisa was saying in that song. So, okay, let me just get into the topic today, because I think the main draw, the reason why you're here, is to talk about the legal issues. You want to hear about the legal issues. And I'm not sure what I'm going to title this video, but it's probably something like uncommon personal injury issues, something like that. What has been on my mind is the Tasha K, Cardi B situation. Even though I don't even listen to Tasha K, didn't know who she was before hearing about this lawsuit. And by the way, do y'all like my hand art? I finally found a place. I fell in love with henna when I went to Dubai. It got a little messed up, but if you can just see, that's the pattern. That, you know, before it dried completely, it got smeared a little bit. Wasn't my fault, but it was kind of my fault. But anyway, I love this. Shout out to the place that I went. If you want to know where I got it done, please comment down below. I'll be happy to share it with you. I love it. And I even like how she didn't finish it on this side. It's just like art. I was going to suggest to her, could you fill it in here? But I was thinking, no, just let it be. Let the art be what it is. So I love it. I am sincerely thinking about getting a hand tattoo in the future because I love it so much. But I want my whole hand done completely in this kind of art. It's so beautiful to me. So, but anyway, oh, the Tasha K situation. So don't know who she is. Don't need to know who she is. She is a blogger who had a whole lot to say about Cardi B, and she got sued. And I actually have not, I heard about it, and then we've talked about it. I think I may have read a little bit about it, but I still don't know a whole lot about it. And I don't need to know a whole lot about that particular situation for what I'm going to tell you, for what this video is about. Number one, I don't want Cardi B suing me. And number two, I don't care. I don't need to know. But what I'm going to talk to you about is libel and slander. Over the years, being a personal injury attorney, I have had people reach out to me intermittently about these things. Oh, so-and-so said this about me. I want to sue them about what they said. There's a couple of important things that I want to tell you about it. Number one, let's start with definitions. What are we talking about? One, we're talking about defamation, and I'm going to see if I can add some effects here. If not, then just roll with me here. Defamation. Defamation is the overall tort that we're talking about. There are two types of defamation. One is called libel and one is slander. The difference between them is libel is written and slander is spoken. Libel is easier to prove because you have the proof right there. It's in writing. And you have, you can pull up the magazine article, the blog, the newspaper report, whatever, that has the lie in it. And slander is spoken. So slander is sometimes harder unless you have a bunch of people who can corroborate. Yes, this was told to me. Yes, I heard her say it. Slander is not as easy to prove. I don't know. I'm kind of out of my practice. I'm not sure what I want to do with this. Well, it's Sunday, so we're going to be going back and forth. 420. Oh my goodness! Now I forget which one is the good one. Oh, 420 is the darker one, so 410 needs to be the one that It was easy to remember when I had all three of them, which one was the one that was most like my skin color. And I think that's too light. Y'all just bear with me. I'm just doing whatever this morning. So, okay, so what is defamation? Defamation has a couple of elements. Number one, it has to be an untruth that is communicated to a third person. So number one, it has to be untrue, has to be communicated to a third person, and it has to be about something that would lower your estimation in the community. So usually it's saying that someone has this disease or that they committed a crime of moral turpitude. Like you're saying, oh, Sheila, she passed bad checks around town. Those are the kind of things that might keep you from getting a job. So they're very, very... very, very serious allegations that one could be making about another. So it has to be untrue. If it is true. Truth is an absolute defense to a libel case. So for instance, in Cardi B situation, I think the lady was saying she was a stripper or something. I don't know. I think it's well known that Cardi B was a stripper. But the things that she was saying was that she had some kind of diseases and things of that nature. If Tasha K could come up with the medical report, Cardi B's medical report from her doctor to say, oh yeah, she does have these diseases, it's an absolute defense. Truth is an absolute defense. And actually, you could say whatever you want to say about people. If it's true, you have an absolute defense. You could take out a billboard. If you got somebody's medical report and you want to go out there and spread their business, you can be, you're still not a good person, but it doesn't mean that you're a good person. It just means you're outside the bounds of the law. But you can actually take a billboard on 285 and put their business out there and be safe from a defamation prosecution. You may have other torts. There are other torts that may apply, like invasion of privacy and things of that nature. But as far as defamation, you would be good. You would be, there'd be nothing anyone could do about it. I did not bring my beauty blender. I didn't wet my beauty blender. So this brush is actually doing a pretty good job blending this out. So anyway, so I've had people come to me and ask me about this, quite often I do, just in personal relationships, you get folks, saying things to each other, hurting each other's feelings and want to do something about it. So the only way that you can really do anything about it is if you can sue about it, is what I mean, is if it's untrue, you can prove that it's untrue and that they said it to another person. That's also very important. For it to be defamation, it has to be communicated to a third person. So this person can come to you all they want to and say, hey, I know that you stole checks. I know that you passed fraudulent checks around. You know it's not true. You know it's a lie. You know that it's something that would damage your reputation. But if they're just telling you that, they haven't told a third person that, it's not slander. It's not libel or slander. It has to be communicated to a third person. Communicated to a third person. It could be texted. It could be usually newspaper articles or blog posts, or, you know, like in the Tasha K situation, this woman had a podcast, or was it a podcast or a YouTube channel or whatever, and she was out there putting it out. So that is what we're talking about. I feel like I'm skipping so many steps, but I'm not even pressed. I'm about to take this stuff right off. I'm just doing this for you guys this morning and seeing, you know, getting the cobwebs off, because I feel a little rusty. So I just wanted to do this because I'm getting back into doing these videos during the weekdays. So, yeah. So that's the situation. That's libel and slander. Let me know if you have any questions about it. So again, it is a statement that's not true, communicated to a third person you got one person communicating about a second person to a third person, something that is untrue and that would lower this person's estimation in the community. Usually it has to be some kind of topic like crime of moral turpitude, something that would keep you from getting a job. Also, your potential employer heard this about you and that would give them pause. So it actually damaged you. It has some kind of impact, some kind of economic impact on you. Like a lot of things could hurt your feelings. Oh, she said that I drowned puppies in the river. And if you were looking for a job with the Humane Society and they actually still gave you the job, they didn't believe it, the slander didn't work, then you don't have a claim. You have to prove that there was some kind of financial impact to you. And of course, Cardi B must have been able to do this because, didn't use my concealer again, because she was ultimately successful in her defamation lawsuit. So we do at our law firm handle cases such as these, but the circumstances are extraordinary. Where we live in a society where it's easy to find information out about other people, but the tricky part for most of my clients that I come in contact with, I don't represent those in the entertainment field. I represent regular people. And the trick with that is actually proving that this defamation that was put out there about you, that information that was put out about you, this untrue information actually had the impact that you think it had. That it kept you from business prospects. It kept you from doing what you need to do for yourself. That's the trick. So, all right. I want to get my lips done because they are so dry this morning. This is why I need to drink my water. Okay. I got the song from Encanto stuck in my mind. It is very catchy. We Don't Talk About Bruno. Y'all see how dry these lips are? Can't talk doing some of this stuff. Oh, and another reason why I'm excited to jump back in and do this, I got new lashes yesterday. It's my lip plumper, which I love, love, love. Didn't think I needed it, but now I love it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that's defamation. You got to be careful what you're saying about people. And just know that whatever you say will get back to the person you're saying it about. And if it damages them in any respect, they have the right to come back against you. And your ultimate defense is truth. So, I think we're good there. You know, I like to have my makeup look very, very natural. So, let's prime the lash. And the lashes will be the last thing that I do this morning. I have got to beef up my eye routine. I think that there is things that I could be doing around my eyes a little bit more advanced, but right now we're good. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the football guy, Flores, with his employment discrimination case. Employment discrimination is, we in our past lives at our law firm, that's something that we used to pursue heavily. My law partner still does some employment discrimination stuff, but that again is not easy either. You know what? I should probably have looked up what district he's suing in, because that's very important. Here, I'm in Georgia, the Northern District of Georgia, which is not a very plaintiff-friendly jurisdiction. I like to take this higher. I don't want it really on the base of my eye. A little higher. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. I see why people do these off camera, because you really cannot talk while you do this stuff. Yeah, these eyelashes are a little bit thicker than the ones that I was using before, and I think I needed that. I needed that change. Yeah, these are ones that I will be wearing. Let me see if I can bring them a little bit more to the center. There we go. I don't know. This is my first time trying this, so we'll see how it goes. This looks like a mess. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about briefly was what's going on with the NFL and Brian Flores and his lawsuit. What you have there is basically an employment discrimination lawsuit. And I did look at the lawsuit, and he was trying to implicate, racial discrimination. But generally, you can't prove racial discrimination through the history of the NFL. He went back to the 1920s and the 1800s in his lawsuit, which is not really necessary for you if you're bringing a racial discrimination claim. You can keep it about your issues, which I think that's what Brian Flores should do with his lawsuit. So with racial discrimination, you have to prove that you were demoted, not given a promotion, not given a raise, or not even hired just because of your race. And I think he may have a good claim. I don't know. It just depends on his particular situation. He did talk in the lawsuit about how the Miami Dolphins had given him directives, and he did not do what they asked him to do. So that is actually a complete defense. It is, I wouldn't say complete, but it is a defense to employment discrimination claims, is a legitimate, non-discriminatory reason for doing what has been done. And also, I thought it was interesting, which ties these two cases together in my mind. John Elway of the Denver Broncos, the Broncos were implicated in this lawsuit, and at least they were mentioned because the lawsuit is 58 pages long and it mentions a lot of things. It even mentioned this job interview that he had with the New York Giants, and he was not hired, which, you know, unless he can prove that it was racial discrimination why he wasn't hired, the Giants can hire whoever they want to hire. So, but John Elway has come out and he has said, he has used the word defamation. He said the statements in the lawsuit are defamatory, which I would like to say this. There's a thing called immunity for lawyers. And why is this? There's this thing called immunity for lawyers filing lawsuits. So you're going on what your client has said, and you have filed a lawsuit saying things, making particular claims. You have immunity. So like John Elway couldn't go against the lawyers for bringing bringing defamatory claims because they have immunity. But it's yet to see whether he would pursue or whether he's even thinking about pursuing any claims because he has used the word defamation himself. So just these are the kinds of things. Claiming that the NFL has discriminated against you could have a negative impact on the NFL, right? Even though I think we all know this. We all know that it's institutional and there is discrimination in the NFL. But if he can prove that the discrimination that Brian Flores is claiming, maybe he's claimed it in another venue besides this lawsuit. If it's had a negative impact on him or the Broncos organization, he may be able to bring a lawsuit. But anyway, getting back to the Brian Flores' claims, just like any other employment discrimination case, you have to prove that there was discrimination. You got to prove that you were not hired or fired or not promoted or your pay was cut or you had some kind of adverse impact on you because of the racial discrimination. And if you can, you have a case. So that's very simplistic. That's the 5-second version of defamation and just an overview of the Flores case. It'll be interesting to see. I think, like I told you, I reviewed the complaint and I understand, even though I go to work, but I understand and I've been able to ascertain that the day that the lawsuit dropped, Brian Flores was everywhere, promoting this like it was a book or, you know, I don't know. I guess he had the whole PR stunt planned out. But I don't know if he really is executing this the proper way. I don't know if I was his lawyer, if I would be advising him to do this. But I'm not his lawyer. No one who looks like me is his lawyer. You know, they look like the folks he's suing. So I don't know if that was strategic on his part either. So, but it's very interesting, an interesting choice for a racial discrimination claim. So this is it. This is the final makeup look. Okay. And so at this point, let's go ahead and hydrate. I got my It Feels Good to Get Stuff Done cup. Warm water, so good for you. Just any kind of water. And starting today, I shall be getting back to my gallon a day. I used to do so good at that. All right. Got my brushes here, but I'm going to do a deep clean on them because today is Sunday. I get to soak them and wash them really good and let them dry before I get back to it on Monday. So I hope all of that made sense about defamation, legal discrimination, employment discrimination, and Tasha K and Brian Flores and everybody. I hope all of that made sense. I know for tomorrow, I gotta put a little bit more on this end, make sure that I get those lashes down. All right, so let's get back to our book about the weird and unusual trivia. All right, so we were talking about Cleveland. Let's talk about the Cuyahoga River. The Cuyahoga River, and it says the Crooked River's Crooked Pass. The Cuyahoga River, which means Crooked River in the Iroquois language, has been an important waterway since European fur traders moved into the area in the 1700s. As Ohio's population increased and the state became a center for the steel and coal industries, the river assumed a vital role in Ohio's industrial landscape. Factories popped up the longest length, especially in the stretch between Akron and Cleveland. From the start of the Industrial Revolution through the mid-1900s, the river's pollution, which was notable even then, wasn't necessarily viewed as problematic. Instead, the river's filth was a sign of its industrial progress, success, and wealth. The infamous fire of 1969 was not the first or even the most destructive river fire in Cleveland's history. The first recorded Cuyahoga River fire was in 1868 and was followed by successive fires 1883, 1887, 1912, 1922, 1936, 1941, 1948, and 1952. The 1912 blaze was responsible for 5 deaths as the fire spread through the shipyards before being contained. The 1952 fire caused $1.5 million worth of damage and yielded dramatic photographs that even now erroneously accompany any discussion of the unphotographed 1969 fire. So that's very interesting. So now we're talking a little bit about Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. So I think we're good. I think we have accomplished what we wanted to accomplish with this video. Y'all let me know if you have any questions. I love the questions. They kind of inform what you're interested in, and they help me to, tailor these videos that way. So, all right. I hope you all have a wonderful, lovely day. I know that I will do my best to do so. And I will see you the next time for more legal tips and makeup.